So this one to me is probably one of the most important topics to talk about: motivation. So the importance of motivation.
I think motivation is definitely very important. If you've spent any time in a gym, period, or just being alive, I feel like you'll see people who will quickly lose their motivation to do much of anything. Especially things that are hard or difficult or can be at times. Where they're not getting the results that they want, or maybe there's every excuse that can exist. But I think staying motivated is very important if you want to be good at anything. If you want to be adequate in any way, there has to be a drive. There has to be a want to stay dedicated to a thing, to have that level of discipline, to continue even on the days where you don't want to, even on the days that you're tired. All of those things. I think motivation is, without motivation, you will not be doing whatever the thing that you think you want to be doing is.
Yeah, I agree, man. I mean, motivation is everything, right? If you're not motivated to wake up and get out of bed and start your day, you're not going to do it. So, you have to be motivated. A lot of people, being a coach, running the gym, I'll see a lot of people come in super motivated, and then just slowly through the process, they lose their motivation.
For sure.
And I understand, life is hard, they have to wake up, they have to work all day, and then they have to come train, and they slowly lose their motivation and get burnt out, and training becomes less and less a priority. So keeping your motivation is going to keep you in the gym and keep you accomplishing your goals. So you have to definitely stay motivated. So what motivates you?
It's a good question. I know a lot of people have they'll read a self-help book, you know what I mean? Or there's motivational podcasts and stuff, or quotes and things like that, which are all cool. I feel like they do a thing. But for me, I feel like my best motivation has to come from inside of myself. If I don't want to do a thing, nothing outside of me can make me want to do that thing, really. For me, I have a deep-seated need to compete and to fight, for sure. It's a part of me, for sure. Any time in my life where I've had a gap without doing it, it's madness. It's not good for me. I absolutely require that form of testing myself to exist. And I love it. I've what I mean. The more that I do jiu-jitsu and stuff, the more that I enjoy it. Substantially. I think another big thing, besides of just this is all I want in my life, is that, and they're probably deeply tied together, is the injuries that I've had have kind of I feel like I've been close to being really good, and especially during my wrestling career, I was doing good, coming in ranked number one. You know what I mean? And then end up catching an injury. Wasn't able to wrestle my entire senior year. And it affected scholarships I was going to receive and all these other things. And by ripping my knee in half. You know what I mean? And so a lot of my career has been spent especially when things were really going good, was injury. And now I'm just square one, and I can't compete, and I can't do all the things I want to do. And I'm just laying there and depressed and just that's all I want to do. You know what I mean? Just staring at drywall. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so just really, so that fear of missing out thing of what I mean, not wanting to take a second of any of this for granted, wanting to take full advantage of every opportunity that I get, and compete as hard as I can, leave no stone unturned, really training as hard as I can. That's very just internally motivated for me.
Yeah, so having no regrets. is motivation for you, and
Yeah.
reaching your full potential.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
A lot of people will never reach their full potential.
agreed. I think, yeah, that's the truth. Like life happens, you know. It's very easy for you to get off the path, and to stay motivated is the key to stay on the path. You know.
Yeah, for sure.
For me, what motivates me is just, I want to stay in this game as long as I can, and I want to, reach my full potential as well, and help my guys accomplish their goals, whatever their goals may be. And I just want to see how far I can take it. Just how you want to take it as a competitor. That's how far I want to see how I can take it as a coach, and see if I can accomplish everything I can want to accomplish as a coach. So I have that same motivation too. I also get motivated. Like I want to make sure what I'm teaching you guys is like really like high percentage stuff. I want to make sure I do the best job I can do. What motivates me is like to really be engaged in as a coach is like, I don't want you guys to get hurt. And I want to make sure I can do everything I can to prevent that. I want you guys to stay healthy, but yeah, it's important. So as far as that, I mean, I feel like making training fun, it'll help stay motivated. That's like one of the things that I try to do is joke around with you guys a lot, and and just make sure we have fun during our training. That will help stay motivated. Setting goals, I think, will help stay motivated. And just no matter what, just try to stay consistent in this in your training. I think will help you like stay motivated. I feel like motivation is kind of like almost like a muscle you have to work out. And so like I know you were saying like it has to come from within. I do agree with that. I feel like it makes my job easier when I'm dealing with like people that are self-motivated. It makes it super easier. And I know some coaches are very like strict on like it has to only come from you. But I know for me, I have like it's like a wave. I feel like motivation is very momentum based. You see what I did there? Yeah. Motivation, momentum. But I feel like it's like surfing. I feel like you're on, if you have a lot of motivation, you're surfing a good wave and you just want to stay on that as long as possible. Sometimes you'll fall off and then you have to go swim back out there and get ready for another wave. And you have to look for the wave, and that's like looking for motivation again. So I feel like to get inspired by books, podcasts, movies, whatever, I think that's just a way to kind of work out that motivation within you. And I think it can help a lot of people. So I do think it's something that can be worked on. I think there's times in my life I'm super motivated and there's times in my life I'm not. And I always want to get back to that motivated place. And so I have to kind of search for that. And for me, it helps. Yeah, here's a good question for you. Should a coach help you with motivation?
That's a good question.
Is that part of a coach's job?
I think it's a really good skill for a coach to have, because I know a lot of people do need like that push. What I mean? I've seen plenty of really good athletes that are like could be world beaters, but their mindset's a little weaker and they lose motivation quickly. And want to go do something else. And so I think if you want to get the best out of those kind of guys, you definitely need to have some sort of that, in the training room, be it coming from the coach or just like the environment, I think it's an important thing to have. I don't know if it's necessarily the coach's responsibility to do that himself, but to have people who will help with that, I think is a very positive thing for the gym. And I think it'll only add to you as a coach by doing it. You know what I mean?
Definitely. I feel weird about it. Yeah. Would I prefer not to help you with that? Yes.
Yeah.
Do I feel obligated to help you with it? Even though I know I'm not obligated to, but do I feel obligated to? Me personally, I do. I feel like I have to try. I know it's usually a losing battle. I know when I try to help people become motivated who are just not motivated, I usually fail at it. But I still want to try. I feel like as a coach, I want to try everything and to to help my guys reach their full potential. And keeping them in the gym is, so I'll throw them a text. I'll call them when I see them in person. I'll have little talks with them. I try to, everything I can to motivate them. And, I think for you guys, like a couple of you guys, I said like a podcast, right? Like, here, listen to this podcast. It might motivate you. Or here's a book. This might motivate you. So I do try. Some people naturally are just motivators. I feel like that's a skill that I'm still trying to develop. That's something that maybe when certain people meet me and see me, they're like, oh, this guy is not going to be the guy for me. He's not going to motivate me. He's not going to help me reach my full potential. So as a coach, I'm always looking to develop those skills as well. I know a lot of coaches don't believe in this. I know there's like the most high level coaches there is don't believe in this, but for me personally, I do feel like have to master all aspects of coaching, and motivation is one of those aspects
for sure.
For me, anyways.
That makes sense.
All right, here's another one, man. I think this will be the last question. This is the hardest one to answer. How to recover from being burnt out and not motivated? Have you ever, first of all, have you experienced that?
It's a weird thing. There's definitely been times where, like, after you lose a tournament or whatever, where you're definitely down on yourself, in the dumps, you know what I mean? Like, you just did all this training, worked this hard, and so it's easy to fall into the trap of not being motivated, not wanting to progress. You're like, what am I doing this all for, or whatever. It's something that to be perfectly honest, I don't really struggle with that much. I feel like it makes me want to train harder. I know I've failed, and the only way to get better would be to continue. If I stop, that would be worse than losing. You know what I mean? It's seceding completely. And so that would be a complete failure then for myself.
I mean, that's your answer. That's fair, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the kind of guy you are. And I think that's fine, I know for me, I experienced at different stages of my life being burnt out. And I know there's like, when you lose, you have two decisions, right? You're either going to quit. It's going to discourage you and make you quit, or it's going to motivate you more to come back and get better and go out there and try it again. So it's ultimately, that's what it is, right?
Yeah.
So
I absolutely hate losing. Dude, I love winning. I hate losing. It's brutal. But I take all of the anger and like rage or whatever, and I put it right into whatever training that I'm doing. I'm like, oh, I gotta be at the gym like now. I gotta be there nonstop. I like doing all the research in the world. I can't let this ever happen again. I will not feel this way again. And then, like, you know what I mean? And just really driving it home that of improvement. So taking you can fall into the camp of quitting and of, when the times are tough, you know what I mean? When you're about to lose, when you've already lost and you're all in this entire situation, or choose to not, because it really is a choice. Choosing to use all of that as motivation instead to get better, to be better.
It is a choice. You're right.
It's a hard choice to
for sure
separate yourself enough to like see from the outside. But if you can, then it'll only benefit you.
I think when it comes to being burnt out and all those type of things, I just tell people, just come, just try your best, do what you can do. And it's pretty much that same analogy of looking for that wave again, right? So if you come, you're looking for the wave. There's been a lot of times in my life that, I've been burnt out on something, and it could be like a video game even. Like I'm just like playing, Fortnite or whatever, and I'm just like burnt. I've been playing it for like weeks and weeks and weeks, and I'm burnt out. And then like, I'll just like, all right, I'm just gonna play one game a day, and then I'll play like 2 games a day, and then so on and so forth. But I think just keep coming, staying consistent, and it'll help you get back on that good wave of motivation. And that's my ultimate advice, is to stay consistent, as much as possible. competitions is another thing. Like I wouldn't recommend if you're feeling burnt out to keep competing. I would recommend taking a break. We have a guy in here that, he's all about, not you, by the way. So we have a guy that he just wants to compete a lot right now, but like last year he didn't want to compete at all. So he's on that good wave, and I'm like, cool, stay on that wave, and we'll ride it out. And then if you ever fall off, we'll just go back to enjoying training again, and then build your momentum up again and motivation up again, and then we'll go back to competing again. So I just recommend a lot of people have that all-in mentality of like, I have to be here 7 days a week competing nonstop, or it doesn't mean anything. And I disagree with that mentality. I think you're going to have times you're doing that, and then you're going to have times that I'm just coming in twice a week, 3 times a week, and just kind of getting my reps, training, staying in shape, keeping my time in, getting exposed to new techniques. And then if I ever decide I want to go back to competition one day, then I can.
Yeah.
But like, I don't think that you need to be necessarily motivated to come in here a couple of times a week and just to keep on getting after it in that eyes. But yeah, I mean, motivation, it's something that I would recommend. Just keep looking to try to find a solution to your motivation, because if you keep looking, you might find one day. Any last advice for anyone when it comes to motivation that you would want to give them?
I think to avoid burnout and staying motivated, a good tip would be to stay goal oriented. Always having a plan of what you want to do next. Next goal, another thing, another competition, another technique you want to learn. How more proficient you want to get in the room. Maybe there's like a guy who's really good at leg locks in your gym. You're like, I want to be able to leg lock him every time we roll. At first, maybe it's just like, I want to live, you know what I mean? And then maybe you get to the point where it's like, all right, well, now I'm not getting leg locked by him the entire roll. Now maybe I can RNC him, you know what I mean? Maybe I'm getting like other subs on him during the roll. And now you get to a point where like, all right, I'm leg locking him you know what I mean? And so having a goal in mind, be it like a person, be it a competition, be it any of those things, I think is all incredibly beneficial. Always keeping something to beat in your mind.
Yeah, just based off that, I mean, for me, making goals is huge, but like right when you accomplish a goal, like have like multiple tiers of goals.
Absolutely.
So like goal this year, goal next year, goal year after that, and so on and so forth. A lot of people make the mistake, I want to be a blue belt. They get the blue belt, they quit. And that's a common trend in our sport. So yeah, my advice to you is don't just make one goal, make multiple goals, like a tier system.
There's always, you can always be better.
Oh yeah. But yeah, just if you have fun, you're going to keep going. So just try your best to have fun. Yeah, I think, if you guys ever think about trying jiu-jitsu out, if you're always on the fence about it, just find your local gym. Give it a go. Try it out. A lot of gyms offer a free trial class. I feel like you have nothing to lose. Just go try it out for yourself. And then from there, you can see, you can feel it. You can see what it is. You can, it really helped me change my life. I know I used to be in a very bad place. I used to be super unhealthy. I used to be super unmotivated. I used to be like, I felt like a life without purpose. And then as soon as I found, jiu-jitsu in my life, it really helped me, become the person I am today. I have lost weight. I have, I got my black belt in jiu-jitsu. I made a career in jiu-jitsu. I met my wife because of jiu-jitsu. I have a son now because of jiu-jitsu. So I own my own gym. It all started from me trying that free class out and falling in love with jiu-jitsu and just sticking with it. So I just recommend, like if you're looking for something that really big change in your life, just go find your local gym, try it out. Okay. Do you have any advice for them? You think about them maybe trying it out?
Yeah. What's it? One, I know for me, I got injured in like high school and college and stuff, and ended up I was like wrestling like 270, 265, something like that, and then I got all the way to like 350, 360 pounds, and so that was definitely not a great time in my life for sure. It was a pit of despair and just like not good, and so.
What are you at now, just for the record?
242.
Yoked out.
Right? Something like
that.
But I decided one day that I was like, I can't exist like this anymore. And, what I mean? What's it called? Began like running and all this other stuff. And then once I'd lost a substantial amount of weight, I think I got to like 260, 270. And that's when I joined Jiu Jitsu. I started training again. And I fell back in love with everything. Remembered how much I loved all of it from wrestling and everything like that. And so for the people who are either like completely new to grappling in general or anything like that, or just like maybe you've done it before, maybe you have had that burnout, maybe you like wrestled, you know what I mean, and like what's it, parents maybe made you do it, and like all this other stuff. Wrestling's hard, you know what I mean. Maybe you know coming back to it now that you've aged a little bit, maybe now that you have like a different value of it, I think it'd be a good thing to try out. Remember why you did the thing you did in the first place. I think you can get a lot of benefit from that.
Thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, share. If you guys want us to talk about any other topic, let us know through comments, emails. All right. Thank you so much. You want to say anything to the people?
I appreciate you.
Hey, it's nice.